Hello everybody! Lily! So I'm so sorry for all the terrible videos that we have been posting for the past month. It's just been a really hard time for me with work, with still being a student and taking care of her. I just had a lot to juggle, and so I haven't been able to post many good videos. But today I wanted to do something different because it's just the two of us at home. I wanted to go over her birth story. Okay, you're totally in the way. Because I know it's really late. I feel like a lot of people post about their birth story and how their labor was, like maybe a month after all of it. But she is now 11 months, and you know, I have a lot of, not a lot, but I have some videos of me being in labor and that whole day, so I wanted to share the videos before it's too late. And you know, she's gonna be, hello. Hello, she's gonna be 1 year old next month, which is crazy to me. What are you? So I thought, what's a better way to celebrate her 1 year by talking about the day she was born. Yeah, she talks a lot now. So what are you gonna tell them? So she was born on March 4th, which was a Wednesday. It was a Wednesday. Okay, I was looking at 2019. So she was born on March 4th, a Wednesday, but actually I went in to get induced on March 2nd, which is a Monday night. So she was 38. I was 38. No. 38. Okay, I'm getting so confused. Okay, so I think in Hawaii by law you can only get induced 1 week before, so at 39 weeks, just because unless you have any health issues, you should keep your baby in your stomach for as long as you can. And I didn't really have a very bold reason to why I wanted to get induced, but I think mainly it was just because I couldn't wait, and also because I had a lot of things going on during that time. I was still a student. I had a lot of work, a lot of work events around that month, and so I wanted to plan it out as best as I can. And if we did wait till, like, you know, go with the flow and wait till she was ready to come out, then we really wouldn't know around when to plan my other things, if that makes sense. So we decided to get induced, so I know that I should get hello. So I decided to get induced just because I can plan out the rest of the things I need to do beforehand. So I told my doctor that, and she said that's totally fine, that's totally normal to get induced. She says I do have to wait till 39 weeks. So the 39 weeks was on Monday, but the freaky thing is we went in on a Monday night at 9-ish o'clock. We got McDonald's right right before. That was my delivery meal, and then we went in. But as soon as they hooked me up to my IV and hooked me up to the monitor, they told me that there has been a confusion on her due date, and that this happens a lot, but sometimes they give you multiple dates depending on how big she is in your stomach. And they thought that my due date was March 9, but turns out it was March 10. So technically by law, they couldn't induce me on the 2nd because that makes me 1 day shy of 39 weeks. So they said, okay, we can induce you on March 3rd at 12 a.m. and we're like, okay, sure, that's another 3 hours or so. So we just walked around the hospital, we watched some movies, we ate some food, and our hospital had Starbucks, which Erin went to like a million times.
Alright, Shandy, where are we? This is our hotel room.
Oh.
I'm just kidding, not hotel room. Shandy has her IV. What happened? Shandy was supposed to get induced at 8 o'clock, but right now it's 11, almost 11:20. It's because she was 3 hours early. Oh my gosh.
And yeah, we waited till 12 a.m. and then as soon as 12 a.m. hit on March 3rd, we thought, okay, this is it, you know, we're gonna have our baby. But no, it was so slow moving. Literally, they start you on Pitocin, which is a like labor inducing drug that kind of helps your contractions go. And I forget what like the specific numbers are, but it should like they slowly increase it so your body can react to it at a slower pace rather than all of a sudden. And they had me going on it for a good like 30 hours or so, and they kept increasing it, but nothing happened. Like, I literally didn't feel any pain. They're like, what's going on? Like, usually people are in a lot of pain when they have Pitocin in their system because it's supposed to kickstart labor. But I was literally laying there like a Oompa Loompa at 39 weeks pregnant on my like 5th movie, and I was like so done. I was like, I need time. I want this to like start. I want it to like happen, you know? But nothing happened. But they're like, you know, this isn't like an emergency or anything, so let's just keep it going. Let's just continue to increase it, and we'll see what happens throughout the night. Nothing happened. The next morning, March 3rd, all day, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. My best friend Laura came to visit me. She brought me flowers because she literally thought I already had her. Erin's younger sister and mom came to visit me. Nothing happened. And when you are on Pitocin, you're not allowed to eat anything just because, I don't know, I guess you might throw up, I'm not sure. But I haven't eaten anything for a good almost 24 hours. A long time. So I was starving at this point. Like, I was like, you know, I'm really hungry. So they're like, okay, let's stop with the Pitocin for 1 hour, go stretch and go get some food, because that's the one thing that was really uncomfortable, was that you can't move because you're literally connected by IV. You can go to the bathroom by dragging the pole with you, but that's it. You can't leave the room. The room is like a square. Like, I've been in that room, saw the sun come up, saw the sun go down, and I was just like, yeah, I need to get out. So we stopped the Pitocin, took out the IV. We went to the cafeteria, got some food, talked with my friend Laura and Erin's sister Brittany. We're talking about how long it's gonna take, and we thought, okay, maybe she might come at the end of the night on Girls' Day, March 3rd. What are you doing? Blah blah blah. And then they left. We were like, okay, you know, let's do it. Round 2, I'm ready. And nothing happened. And I think this whole time I was about 4 centimeters dilated. And if you don't know, you need to be 10 centimeters. Like, literally down there has to be this big for the head to come out. And usually if you're not induced, you have to be like 4 4 centimeters dilated already, or else they don't even let you into the hospital. So I was at that point, but I was at that point for a good 2 days now, and you still didn't come out. You're like, I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. And so we went to bed again, and even throughout the night, the doctors will come in and out to check on you. Oh, thank you. Arigato. Arigato. Check if you're dilated. Nothing changed. So the next morning, another doctor came in, and she's like, okay, so you have been on this Pitocin for 2 days now. And it's not like it's damaging or anything, but obviously the more Pitocin in your system, the less Pitocin in your system, the better, right? So she's like, okay, let's stop it. Let's do this. Let's break your water. And arigato. Moishi. Moishi. And usually when your water breaks, that's when you know the baby's coming. So she's like, yeah, let's just do it. And she's actually, the lady that came in to say that was not my OBGYN, and actually there is a big chance that your main doctor that you have been seeing for the whole 40 weeks is not there to give help you give birth. They have like a rotation system where a different doctor comes and checks on you. So I think while we were there, at least 4 different doctors came to check on us, and at least 10 different nurses came to check on us. So it's like you see a bunch of new faces, and get ready for everybody to see down there, even male doctors. Yeah, that was kind of uncomfortable, but you kind of get used to it. And what was I saying? You keep distracting me. Yeah, so that was like 10 a.m. or so. This lady came, she literally opened me up, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna break your water. Bam! And my water broke, and it was like such a weird feeling because stop. Oh, the water is warm. Like, I thought it was gonna be, I don't know, I never imagined what my water would feel like, but it was warm and it was really weird. And since I was laying down, it's just like gushing throughout the whole, on your bed, on your clothes, everywhere throughout, like all on your legs. It was just not a pleasant feeling. Oh my goodness, I forgot to say a very important part. The first day, actually, they put, with the Pitocin, they put in a balloon. And the balloon is like literally they put it in, they blow it up in there, and that balloon basically makes your cervix stretch. And that thing was supposed to be painful, but it didn't hurt at all. And it was in there for quite a while, and they pulled it out after a couple of, maybe half day or so. And it's supposed to significantly stretch out your cervix. And it did like maybe 1 centimeter, but it didn't kickstart the contractions at all. And sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. But good thing I'm going over this now, because I wouldn't remember any of this later on. But anyway, after they broke my water, oh my goodness, that's when it all started. Like, my doctor came in laughing, saying that, oh, we should have done this yesterday. Like, sometimes breaking the water doesn't do much for many people, but for me it did. Like, the minute my water broke, I was like, okay, yay. Oh my, like, it was so bad. My contractions, like, if I were to explain this, I would say it's kind of like the worst period cramp you could ever have. And that's a weird thing. I thought it would feel different, but it literally feels like your period cramp, but like it kind of feels like there's like a metal bolt, I don't know, like a metal cast that goes around your stomach, and it's like crushing you. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like a knife or like a burning sensation. Well, to me, like it literally felt like something was crushing your stomach, and it was hard to breathe. And that was the worst part of the delivery by far, or the whole experience, was the contraction. And that's where I'm so glad I chose to get induced, was because usually you feel this pain for sometimes days, sometimes weeks, depending on how your labor is going. Like I said, they don't admit you to the hospital unless you're unless your cervix is about like 4 centimeters. So even if you're having really bad contractions but only at like 1 centimeter, they still don't let you in just because the hospital is busy. And so I am so glad I chose to induce it, because as soon as I felt the contractions, I'm like, epidural. And so luckily I only felt the contractions for a good like hour or so while they were calling the doctor to get that set up for me. Yeah. And depending on the hospital, you can have some people in the room with you, and then some hospitals don't. And unfortunately, Kapiolani does not let people stay with you when you're getting the epidural. I think for safety reasons. I'm sure a lot of people faint looking at that needle. And so Erin had to leave the room, and I was in there. I mean, I was in the same room with one nurse and the doctor. It's a different doctor, the doctor that does the epidural. And it was a guy, and he was just like, hey, brand new day. Like, he was very like enthusiastic about it, like it's normal to him. I was in a lot of we're not going to sleep yet. She knows how to turn on her sound machine, so come here. What are you doing? What is that? Let's play with this. I was literally curled up in a ball like this, holding a pillow, and then the nurse will literally hug you from the front like this to make sure you don't move. And he like sets up everything in the back. I really don't know what it looks like because it's behind me. And he's like, okay, tell me when your contractions are done, because you cannot get poked when your contractions are happening. So as soon as one went away, I'm like, okay, it doesn't hurt right now. He literally pokes you, and it's not that bad. Okay, like, yes, it hurts. Like, I was like, oh god, but like the contractions are worse, so it's really like not that bad. And it was a different kind of pain. It was like a burning pain. It felt like someone was taking like a hot needle, like a needle that was burning, and they like that way. Like it felt like it was burning. But okay, that sounds really graphic, and probably was, but it's not that bad compared to the contractions, like seriously. And then after that, I was literally so relaxed. Like I was literally laying in bed like, oh yeah, like this is the life. Like you literally just lay and relax, and you feel absolutely no pain. Like you're literally laying in bed, like you can't even feel your legs. You can't feel anything down there. Like you're just like, And I was just watching, what was I watching? This is very important. Dr. Pimple Popper. What is that channel? This is gonna drive me crazy. Not CBS. Anyway, and I forget, but there was one point during that whole time where I constantly had to use the bathroom. I think it was before the epidural. Like I constantly had to pee, like literally every minute. So, and I think it's because they put the catheter in you before that. I don't know. I just always had to pee constantly, and every time you pee, there's blood coming out. So it was just like a real big mess Aaron and I both took a nap. I don't know how long, maybe like 2-3 hours. I was knocked out. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then they checked my cervix when I woke up around like 3:30 or something, and I was at 10 centimeters. Isn't that crazy? Like, you literally get that epidural, you were in so much pain, you get that epidural, you feel nothing, you literally doze out, like, you knock out, and you wake up and you're ready to go. Like, that's so crazy to me. I started pushing at like 4 o'clock, I think, and she was born at 5:10, so it was really a short time. I literally called it that she was gonna be born at 5:10, and on the dot it was 5:10. And the pushing part was easy for me personally. Like, I had no issue. I wasn't really that tired necessarily. It was very peaceful. Like, I really recommend you getting the epidural because it was so peaceful. There was no pain, nothing. Like, I literally watched Dr. Pimple Popper on my screen above me, and I'd be like, push, and you literally like, and you push like you're taking a dump. And honestly, you know when you have to push because your body tells you. Like, your body, every contraction, like, I can't feel the pain, but you can feel this enormous sensation down there. Like, not in your vaginal area, your butt area. Like, literally, it feels like there's a rock coming out from your butt. And that's pretty graphic, but that's literally what it feels like. And the nurse was like, they can see your contractions on this machine. They see it when it's coming, and they can tell you, okay, it's time to push again. But literally, before she says that, I'm like, okay, I have to push. Like, it's very uncomfortable. You feel like you want to push. And that's how it went for a good hour. And she came out, and what was really nice was that, like I said, I saw a bunch of different doctors, and my OBGYN was actually on a trip. She was in like San Diego or something, and she actually came back that day, and then she was able to deliver her. So I feel like we were all joking when my doctor came, like, oh, the baby waited for you to come back from your trip, because we were there for like a total of like 50 something hours, and she finally came out right when my doctor came. So I thought that was really special. And this was all literally a week before the pandemic hit Hawaii, so nobody had to wear masks. My mom was wearing a mask because she was already paranoid that people had it in Hawaii. There was no cases here, but there were, like, you know, those couple cases in Seattle area, Washington. That was about it during that week. So still got a lot of visitors, and she was 7 pounds 8 ounces, so she was pretty average to big sized. And what was scary was that she actually came out, and she wasn't really breathing. Like, we didn't hear her cry, and she was like turning purple. And that was one thing that really scared me and scared everybody. Erin was there, my mom was there, and my sister actually came like mid-delivery, and they were all like in shock. And I was just like, not in shock by that, but I was just in shock that I just gave birth. Like, you really don't know what it's like, right? So I'm just like still like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't even move. I couldn't really comprehend that she looked that color, but they were all like, oh my gosh, is she breathing? Is she okay? And they were like rubbing her, because sometimes, you know, you need to get the baby going, but she wasn't, and she was choking on a lot of mucus. So they actually took her off of me, and they took her into that square bed thingy for the baby, and they were checking on her, and that was really scary. And I think that because they didn't want me to be scared, they just continued on with me and delivering the placenta. Like, I didn't even feel my placenta coming out because I was worried about what's going on over there. And they were just like stitching me up or whatever, but I was still like leaning over trying to see what's happening over there. They even told my mom to stop filming because, you know, you never know what's gonna happen. and then a bunch of other nurses ran in too, and the machine kept beeping, like beep 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 beep, and that was the scariest thing ever. Like, it wasn't like a beep like someone's dead, but I think that machine knew that the heart rate was off or something like that. I really don't know exactly what happened. The beeping sound turned off and I can hear her making noise. So that's when like there was the first sign of relief, and then I was just constantly looking at like the nurses and the doctor's faces to see like if they're concerned or not, and they seemed fine. They were just like talking. There was a lot of like med students that were there, and they were like trying to teach them like what's going on. And so I feel like if it was an actual state of emergency, they wouldn't be teaching them what to be doing. So they brought her back to me, and I was just holding her, and honestly I didn't know what to feel. I was happy, but I was more in shock. Like, I really didn't know what to do. Like, I was never scared of giving birth. I was never nervous. I was just always excited. But once it hit, I was just like, what? I'm like a mom? Like, what am I supposed to like feed her? Like, I don't know anything. I was just like literally holding her like this, and like I was scared to look at her sometimes because I didn't know how I should feel. And I feel like that's completely normal. It's not always going to be like crying, tears, like, oh, I'm so happy to see you kind of emotion. Like, I feel like it's totally normal to feel scared, totally normal to not feel that first bond, that first attachment with your child, because, you know, everybody's different, everybody's at a different emotional state. And so that's like the one thing I wish people told me about, was like, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, if that makes sense, because right now I wouldn't know what to do without her. Oh, stop. Okay, sorry, I think it cut off, but yeah, I was saying that I fall in love with her like more and more and more every day. Like, you have no idea. I don't want to do anything but to take care of her. Like, I am done working, I am done being a student. Like, I just want to spend every day with her. And to be honest, it wasn't always like that, especially in the beginning. I was just scared, like honestly constantly scared. And so it's totally okay if you're a new mom that is feeling insecure about their feelings. Anyway, that kind of got deep. After that, they took her weight, they took her everything, and then right when we were going to be moved to the other room, the recovery room, they actually told us that she needs to be tested, monitored. And so usually the baby would come with you to your recovery room, and you know, you spend your first hours together and everything. But we didn't get to do that just because of that scare that happened in the beginning. They needed to watch her heart and her breathing, so they actually took her to the NICU area. You know, when you walk into like the delivery section, I'm not sure if you ever visited babies, but you see some babies in a certain room in the middle, and they're all lying there, they're all cute. You think that those are the new babies that are born, but actually those are the babies that need monitoring. Like, the babies that are not there are the babies that are doing fine, and they're in their room with their mom, which I never knew. Like, I always thought all babies go there. So she went there, I went to my recovery room, and Aaron kept going back and forth between the two rooms, checking on me, checking on her. And he kept updating me on what's happening with her. I think her heart rate was pretty high. I think. I'm sorry, I really don't know. Or maybe her breathing was really high, and they needed it to come down to a normal speed. And that took a good 5 hours or so. So she was born at 5, but we didn't get to hold her, or she didn't come back to our room until like 11 p.m. 12 a.m. So it was a long time. She was good for a while, but they said they wanted to make sure it stayed that way. Like it came down, but instead of just giving her to us, they had to check if it stays. But she eventually came back to us. They brought her and I held her and I was so like, what? Like they literally like, oh, here's your surprise, she's back, okay, bye, and they left, and it was just me and Aaron in the room, and we're like, wait, nobody's gonna explain, like, what are we gonna do with her? Like, is she supposed to eat? Like, I didn't know. But then soon after, nurse came in, she's like, did she eat yet? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, take your boobies out. Like, it was my nurse that night was very vocal, but I feel like she just got me out of the comfort zone faster, and I thought it was really great. The nurses and the doctors at Kapiolani, they were all so amazing. Like, I wish I could go back and like thank them. Like, although I wasn't one of those crazy delivery moms because I was on the epidural, they were so kind. They were literally, the nurses are literally your servants. Like, they lift your leg, they make your bed, everything. Like, and they, every single one of them, like I said, I went through a lot of nurses and they were so amazing. And the next couple days we were in the recovery room and so many people came to visit her. We had lots of food. We had the celebratory dinner for us, and then we brought her home like 2 days later or so, and now she is 11 months old. She's cute. She's about 21 pounds or so. I'm not too sure, but she's very, very, very heavy, and she's so cute. And this month I'm gonna make a lot of throwback videos. I feel like I don't want to ever forget what it was like this whole year, because it really doesn't feel like it's been a whole year, and I want to remember as much as I can. So be on the lookout for some new videos of some advice that I would love to give, or things that worked for us in the first year, or I don't know, give us some ideas. And she's completely in the center of the video, so we're gonna go now. Better say bye bye, say thank you. Actually, thank you for being so patient. She's like playing with her toys and she's like, I'm done. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in our next video. Bye bye. 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 Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay, let's go. Oh.